Hello. In the last video, I was sharing about how, as a junior analyst, I was trying to create the most complicated graph. I tried to fit all the data I could find or analyze into a single graph to get something so complex, so complicated, I will feel great. But as I began to grow in my career and work more with executive level, I found that it's much better when I keep things simple and I'm able to stay on the most relevant point and guide my audience to seeing that point. This is exactly what the book teaches in this section. Here we see two graphs intending to portray the same information, but the graph on the left is quite cluttered. We can see that the positioning of the title and the axis labels, the use of data labels within the graph, and the choice of graph in itself, it makes it feel redundant. Here, when you look at it, it's easy to get caught up in the details and miss the big point, the big picture. However, on the right side, the graph feels more lucid, it feels clearer. And this is because it has been decluttered to remove unnecessary detail. So the positioning of the title and the axis, top left, because that is where the user or the viewer will usually first look within your graph. The way the bars have been stacked rather than broken out, and the way the label has been used on the first bar so it applies to all other bars in the graph, it generally feels clearer and it's easier to understand. So decluttering is a very important part of creating visuals, making it clean and clear. After decluttering, it's important to show your audience where to look. And that's the next point in the book. I like to read here, it says, by the time you communicate your data, you should already know what is key. And because you know what is key, you should be able to guide others to look at what is key versus spending their time trying to figure out what they should deduct from your data. Here's an example. We have two graphs that have pretty much the same information and they have the same style or method. It's been decluttered quite all right. But then if we wanted to focus on the 2025 data, you can see that that is more visible in the right side compared to the left. And that is because here there's different colors and there's nothing emphasized versus here where the other colors have been grayed out, leaving only the data of concern or data of interest as the bold line. So showing your audience where to look is really important in making a presentation. The next thing is to tell them what to see. So you've shown them what to look at, but what do you want them to see in what they're looking at? We start with the takeaway title. And just reading from the book, it says a pithy phrase or sentence that encapsulates the key message, making it easy to comprehend. This is really important. When you think about showing people what to see, you need to ask the question, so what? And then answer that question and present it to your audience.